This is my homemade sailboat, and finally, after 3.5 years, we're finishing the exterior.
This is not gonna be perfect at all, but...
So that did not turn out how I wanted it to.
Oh, are you kidding me? Did I measure wrong? No. Oh, this looks horrible. Oh God, my shoulder. Oh. Ow. Oh. Look how pretty that looks. Oh, I love it. Ooh, let's go, baby, let's go. Oh, look at that, that looks awesome. Oh, let's go, let's go. Holy shit.
Dude, I'm so happy with how it looks. I think it looks awesome. Alright guys, so today is day 1 of finishing the sailboat build. Yesterday I spent some time and got a ton of materials for the next few days, so I'm all set for the building process, and I'm excited to say that today we are finally finishing the keel.
You guys are gonna hate me as usual, but I am using Bondo once again. I'm gonna use this to fill all those little holes and cracks in the keel. Now I do have some fumed silica and epoxy, but I gotta save that for the more important jobs.
Now, I couldn't find the Bondo with the fiberglass strands in it, so this regular stuff will have to do. Once I got everything mixed up, I started applying it to the keel, trying to fill all these small holes.
Alright, so that did not turn out how I wanted it to. You can still see a ton of little holes sticking out of the Bondo, so it didn't really do anything. But the Bondo is taking a lot longer to cure, so I'm gonna switch over and start working on my fumed silica and get all the major gaps filled in between the keel and the hull itself.
Fumed silica is extremely bad for you. Like, if you breathe it in, that's a big no-no. So I got the mask on, I'm all masked up. Once I've mixed it up properly, I'll add in the fumed silica and then we can start spreading it onto the keel. Should have like a measuring cup, but oh. So, alright, here we go. Back at day.
With the thickened epoxy, my main goal was to fill these large gaps between the top of the keel and the bottom of the boat.
There we go. We'll go back and add more, of course, but alright, that looks pretty good for the first batch.
For the second batch, I wanted to try something different, so I added the fumed silica into a plastic bag first, then added the epoxy and mixed everything together. However, the third batch I made using this method did not work out that well.
Alright, so got a little issue. This batch of thickened epoxy was far too viscous.
I grabbed a small piece of cardboard to help spread the epoxy onto the keel.
That's fine. I got a lot of the epoxy into the cracks, so we're chilling.
With the epoxy good to go, I started to sand everything once it dried.
Alright, so I was able to somewhat sand all that Bondo, but you know, it didn't really work out. The sandpaper kept getting gunked up and it just wouldn't sand anymore, so I'm just gonna leave the Bondo as is. I don't really give a shit about the keel anymore.
I'm joking, I love the keel, so I'm making up some more thickened epoxy.
So this batch of thickened epoxy is super thick, so this is exactly what I need. Just cut out this little cardboard piece and I cut off a corner, made it nice and smooth. Now I can do this. There we go. Beautiful, look at that. Look at that. Oh my god, okay. Okay, here we go. Clay, what are you doing? What are you doing over here?
That epoxy turned out amazing and I really like how it looks. So I'm gonna let this sit for a few hours and let it dry.
In the meantime, we now have to hop inside the boat and get some work done in there.
Oh god, it's dirty as f in here. We gotta deal with it up here.
So right up here in this space, I have to add some foam or some extra flotation. For this part, I bought a large sheet of foam insulation. This is the same size as a standard sheet of plywood. I already grabbed my measurements, so now I'm just marking everything out for the first sheet.
Alright, so I've never cut foam before, so let's see how this goes. Hopefully this is deep enough.
That's what she said.
Oh yeah, it should be. Okay, that was actually super fucking easy.
My skill saw was able to cut through this foam like butter.
Oh, fits like a glove. Okay, looks like I gotta cut out 3 more sheets for all of them to fit, so. So I got all my foam sheets cut out, and I cut out a little extra one down there. So
Using some compressed air, I prepped the area for the foam sheet.
just gonna add it onto the floor. Oh, this is satisfying. All right, there we go.
For the other sheets, I just added a decent amount of glue to the top of the previous foam board. With those guys installed, I got started on the piece of plywood flooring that would end up covering this space. It's already cut out and will fit, so I just need to add some polyurethane to waterproof it.
So I got this guy nice and coated with the polyurethane, and I'm just letting it dry up here. So to finish off today's work, there are some screws that you can see from underneath the boat going up into the hole. So I'm gonna cover these guys with some Bondo.
Alright, so I just finished up bondoing some of the screws, and I realized, like, what the f is the point of doing this? Most of the screws are flush with the bottom of the hole, so I don't necessarily need to add any filler.
Alright, it's looking pretty good.
I just spent some time preparing the fiberglass tape along with the cloth, but before I'm able to add this in some epoxy, I gotta sand the epoxy where the keel meets the bottom of the hole.
For the epoxy, I'm using some 80 grit sandpaper and a PVC pipe to help me make a nice curved edge. These 2x4s were also in the way, so I'm just moving them down a bit to give me some more space to sand and work.
Alright, let's finish sanding the starboard side of the keel. It does not look pretty at all, but I mean, it's not perfect, but I'm satisfied with it. So now I can finally move on to the fiberglassing. I'm more concerned with the joint where the top of the keel meets the bottom of the hole. I need this to be incredibly strong just for the structural support of the keel itself and the rest of the boat. I'm more worried about adding a ton of fiberglass there than the rest of the keel. So I'm gonna put my main focus towards that joint.
This was probably the most difficult part of today's video. I had to add a ton of epoxy to the keel in the bottom of the hole to get the fiberglass to stick and stay in place. Some areas were also more challenging than others, and I was rapidly running out of epoxy as well. This took me a lot longer than expected, but I was able to get it done.
Now I can finally whip out those larger mats of fiberglass and install those guys.
I hated installing these fiberglass sheets. They were a huge pain in my ass and wouldn't stick onto the boat regardless of how much epoxy I added. Once I got those sheets installed, I focused my attention back on the screws. Each screw essentially got 2 layers of 6-ounce fiberglass tape, just enough to cover the screw head. After adding this fiberglass, I went back to that interior piece of plywood.
Alright, so before I get this board installed, I'm going to use the expanding foam and just fill any extra gaps that I see, just so we don't get anything rattling in there, and then we can get this guy installed. Look how pretty that looks. Alright, last 2 screws. Oh, I like how this looks. It looks awesome. Oh, let's go, baby. Let's go.
Alright guys, so it is the next morning and the keel and fiberglass are looking pretty damn good, but I'm a little sad to say that I just finished my last Magic Mine shot. So personally for me, I've been putting in a lot of work on the boat, and typically after a few hours I feel pretty burnt out and tired, and my motivational work on her, it just plummets, and I honestly get pretty bored after working on her. Thankfully, after taking some Magic Mine, I'm feeling way more focused and energetic while working on the boat. It's really helped me focus and lock in, and it tastes pretty good as well. Good old Magic Mine. If you guys are curious and want to try some Magic Mine for yourselves, click the link at the top of the description and use code JACKWOOD20 for 48% off your first subscription.
I don't know if you guys can see the board up there, but now that we got that guy installed, we can finally start working on the windows. This should really transform the look of the boat, and I'm super stoked to start working on this. Ooh, let's go, baby, let's go.
To start, my dad held the sheet of acrylic onto the boat while I marked out the size of my windows.
So I saw online to get a clean cut and prevent vibrations in the acrylic sheet, you can use some painter's tape or masking tape. Okay, I really can't up because this whole sheet of acrylic was $52.
After adding that tape, I went back and marked out the shape of my window.
This one should be a lot easier.
Alright, so to help prevent any cracks in the acrylic, I just got another table out to help minimize the vibrations and shaking. So now we're just going to cut along this line. We got the main window cut out. We're just going to cut this little section off now.
Using the first window, I marked out the second one and got it cut out.
I feel like being a little fancy, and I put tape on all the corners, so I'm gonna round over the corners and make them nice and smooth. So let's see how it turned out. Okay, let's do this side first. Oh yeah, baby. Oh, that's satisfying. Woo! There we go. Ah, this turned out really well. Let's go. The window itself looks amazing. Holy sh! Finally, we can get these guys installed.
I added some tape at the top of each window so it could be held in place while I marked out the holes for the bolts. With those markings, I placed the acrylic sheet on a piece of plywood and carefully drilled out each hole, then placed the windows back on the boat to figure out where I need to drill. So now that we have all the holes drilled out for the windows, we can finally permanently install them. All of the hardware that I used is stainless steel, and once I got it all installed, I added some clear silicone to waterproof the windows.
Let's get this guy installed.
With everything installed, I went around the exterior and interior edges, adding some more silicone.
Okay, I just finished the first window and it is looking pretty damn good. So now that the windows are complete, we can move on to the part that I've been looking forward to the most, which is painting the bottom of the hull.
Before I mix up the paint, I need to sand the hull nice and smooth, so I got some beautiful 150 grit? Yeah, 150 grit.
I believe in miracles. Where you from? You sexy thing, you. I believe in miracles.
After sanding, I got an old rag to help me wipe down the boat and prep it for the painting process. Before I paint though, I need to change into my painting gear.
Alright baby, okay, let's start painting.
So before I can add the anti-fouling paint, if you guys watched or you remember the video where I painted the boat, I used this super thin vinyl tape. So I'm just gonna go over on the gray section, add a little bit of tape, add some masking tape, and then we can finally paint the boat. All right, so I'm gonna go just a little bit above our main top coat.
Give my heart gladly. Yesterday, I was one of the lonely people. Now you're lying close to me, making love to me. I believe in miracles.
You guys see the super thin blue line? You see that? You see that? Watch this. Watch this. There we go. I got the thicker painter's tape on the boat, and I think it looks pretty damn good. The line is nice and crisp, and for the most part straight. So finally, we can start painting the bottom of the boat. Let's go, I'm so hyped to do this. It's gonna look so f***ing cool. This is the paint that I'm using. It is Total Boat Underdog Anti-Fouling Bottom Paint, and it is in Cobalt Blue. I think it's gonna look f***ing cool. The only downside is I've had this paint can for about 2 years, and it looks like absolute dog shit. And I really hope the paint inside is still good and usable. Dude, this is so, oh my god. There's so much in between the lid. Oh, there we go. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, this looks horrible. Holy sh**. Me, holy. Okay, hopefully when I stir it up, it'll be fine. Damn, look, the paint stir is just sitting there at 2 inches. What the fuck, Jack? Why would you do this? This was over $100. Okay. Oh my god. Let's go slow.
To try and save this paint, I bought this little drill attachment to help me stir up and agitate it.
Okay, so it doesn't look too bad so far. I think it looks pretty good. It's nice and blue, so I'm gonna dump it in here and start painting the boat. Oh yeah, baby. Okay, I put down a little bit of cardboard just to prevent me from spilling. Oh, let's go, let's go. Look at this, man. All right. Oh, look at that, that looks awesome. Yo, wow. This looks sick. Oh, let's go, let's go. Holy shit. That looks so much better than I thought. This is only coat 1. This is the first coat, bro.
Kiss me, darling. I love the way you hold me, baby. It's ecstasy. It's ecstasy. Kiss me, baby. I love the way.
Holy sh**, this looks fucking awesome. It is turning out a lot better than I thought it would. Yeah, baby. Oh my god, I'm so fucking stoked.
I then added a second coat.
Boat is looking pretty good, so now it's time for the final coat.
And there we go. The third and final coat of paint has been added to the bottom of the hull. So I think this turned out fucking amazing. I love how it looks. And I just love the overall color combo for the boat. Some of you have probably noticed that I did not paint this part of the keel, and underneath these pads, I still have to paint the boat. And I'm doing this for a few reasons. One, I'm thinking about adding some more fiberglass to the keel in the bottom of the hull just to make it a lot stronger. So I'm gonna hold off on putting the paint there just so I have the opportunity to, you know, add more fiberglass and epoxy. And two, for the pads that hold up the boat, I can't paint there. They're holding up the boat. So in the future, when the paint has dried and it's all good, my dad and I were gonna lift the boat up and paint those spots, but that will be in a separate video. Also, before I pull off the tape for you guys and reveal what the final paint job looks like, I wanna just mention 2 things quickly. One, I wanna create more boat content for you guys and more boat videos. So I'm not gonna finish painting the boat in this episode. I'm gonna leave it off for another video, which will be about all the final touches. So I'll get all the paint done, I'll get the interior done, get every little thing done with the boat. And then I'm also gonna make a rigging video where I rig the entire boat and explain the process of how I'm doing it. We can raise the sails and all that good stuff, so you guys can look forward to those 2 videos.
With that all said, let's reveal this paint line.
There we go. Beautiful. Perfect. Oh, this is awesome.
Holy shit, guys, look at this. Oh my god. The line turned out crispy as hell. It looks so good. I'm so happy with how this turned out. Oh my god, we are so close to getting her in the water. With that though, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all of your support, and I can't believe how far we've come with the boat build. Yeah, stay tuned for the next few boat videos.